Week 4 in the NFL, and the biggest news happens off the field with the replacement refs getting their asses canned. The real referees are finally back, and they were there for Thursday night's game, and I am so excited. And yes, there were a few calls that they might have missed, but there was nothing blatantly egregious like what we saw with the Seahawks versus the Packers, which we all know, no matter how much they want to deny it, that really sped up the process. Because ever since that game, people have spent every single second talking about nothing but all the horrible missed calls. That kind of lets you know where the NFL stands on it. And while I don't agree with the decision, I think it really should be overturned in favor of the Green Bay, because they really did deserve to win that game. There was bullshit that they lose on a call like that. I respect the NFL's decision to stand by it. They give control to the refs, and they're willing to deal with the consequences of the fact that they made the bad call. But at least they're sticking by their guns, and I think they might be a little worried that it would set a bad precedent that now we got to overturn this game and this game because of this penalty that didn't get called and this and that. So I at least understand and respect the decision to just let the score stick, even though I don't agree with it. I understand and respect it. And Thursday night's game with the Browns and the Ravens, I finally called a Thursday night game correctly. This is the first time all season that I actually predicted the right winner on a Thursday game, but then again, it was the Browns. So yeah, it's pretty easy to pick the Ravens over them. But it's always good to start a week 1-0. And now we'll go back to the rest of the week 4 games, starting with the 1 o'clock slate right now. You have the Chargers at the Chiefs. The Chargers at the top of the division and the only team with the 2-1 record, whereas all the others are 1-2. And the Chargers were undefeated until last week when they got trounced by the Falcons, who, well, let's be honest, it's the Falcons. They've been trouncing everyone, so give the Bolts a little leeway. And the Chiefs looked like they might finally get on form with their win yesterday, especially Jamaal Charles continued to run like he did last week. He looks like he's back healthy again, and he could be a challenge for the Chargers defense. However, I still don't trust the rest of the players on the Chiefs offense. And the Chargers, though, they should be having a healthy Ryan Mathews and Antonio Gates. And it's hard not to go against them, especially since, like I said, the Chargers, they only lost to the Falcons, who are dominating everybody. And the Chiefs, they beat the Saints, who are losing to everybody. So I kind of had to go with the Chargers right here. And then you have the 49ers at the Jets. And the Jets, they've lost Darrelle Revis for the year. And you are going to feel the effects of that. Probably not as much in this game because Fran is a running team. So the Jets losing their best pass defender won't hurt them as much in this contest as it would in others. However, the Jets offense will be going up against the very angry 49ers defense that looked like fools last week versus the Vikings. So I think you have to go with the Niners on this one. Then you have the Seahawks at the Rams. The Rams have been playing surprisingly well this year. However, not as well as the Seahawks, who stunningly won against Green Bay last Monday in a very controversial finish. And while I don't agree with the way that it ended, we do have to point out the fact that Green Bay was expected to run away with this game, and the Seahawks challenged them all game long, and held the lead almost from start to finish. And the fact is, even though they won on a controversial call, they played hard and kept themselves in the game to give themselves the shot of winning on the very last play. So they fought tough, and I kind of had to give it to them on this one. And then you have the Panthers at the Falcons. The Panthers have been okay this year. The Falcons have dominated everybody. Cam Newton is a dangerous player, but the Panthers defense will not be able to match up against Atlanta's offensive weapons. Vikings at the Lions. More surprises this week. The Vikings beat the undefeated 49ers. The Lions lost to the winless Titans. And honestly, I find it hard to believe the Vikings can replicate some of the things that went right last week. Mathews Stafford hurt. Not sure if he's going to be playing this week. I'm getting conflicting reports. Michaelis Schwarbeck, though, that helps their offense. Not sure why they just completely benched Kevin Smith. He was doing very well. And it's hard to see last week as anything but a fluke for both of these teams. And I expect the Lions to take this one. And then you have the Patriots at the Bills. The Patriots have been subpar this season. However, they're losing close games to the undefeated Cardinals and the incredibly dominant Ravens. And they lost each of those games because of a field goal. So I think they're good enough to at least be able to beat the Bills. And then you have the Titans at the Texans. Last week, the Titans won their first game of the season. However, Chris Johnson has yet to establish himself as the dominant runner that he was in the past. And they won more because of special teams and defense. And this week they are playing the Texans. It's the Texans. They're going to toss the Titans around like rag dolls. And tune in tomorrow for the 4 o'clock games. And it looks like this is going to be a very interesting week. However, probably a lot less interesting than last week.